that could easily be a few $1 trillion market cap. So I just felt that people got to understand how the regulation works, right? But they can never be decentralized because of money, greed, and so forth. So that's where the AI part can come in. And he has the cheek to tell me, bro, what is notebook LLM? Fuck, bro.
He's behind.
He's so behind that it's beyond the conversation. Because Anndy Lian, I just wrote a new book. It's called Web4, The Age of Autonomous Intelligence. Well, right now, as I can see from my screen, we are number one, ranked number one, new release, and then ranked number 11 as a bestseller. The book is all about how cryptocurrency Web3 is going to evolve to Web4 with the help of AI.
This conversation is a great time because I'm going to be shifting more towards like AI content. Just because I think, that market is so much bigger, right? Everyone is interested in AI, myself included, and it's like so many interesting things happening that I just love researching it and reading about it.
No, but do you know that I run like funds and so forth before this, right?
Yeah.
So just to be real honest about it, the AI space, in general, like let's put this into different tier, right? So if you're talking about the top AI projects, right? Yes, they are valued at trillions because they are going for the IPO and so forth, right? But then if you look at the second and third tier AI projects, I think they do not have money.
Oh, this is not crypto. I mean, just
no,
like
they do not have money, bro. I give you an example. If today you are a content creator, you want to create content, crypto content, right? There are tons of crypto companies who are willing to give a few thousand, right? But then if you go to the AI space, it's not like that. So the AI space, if you think you can get that kind of AI collab where they can give you good money, I think it's tough. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think it's just like building my own AI thing, and then like
if it's just content, it's okay, bro. If it's just content, it's good. Like I post under CZ the other day. He was talking about AI. Then I was trying to tell him that I was saying in the post that it's actually a lot tougher for AI companies to get any form of a big investment anymore, right? Back about 1.5 years ago, if you're talking about just a normal AI project, right? We don't talk about whether it's a frontier model or whether it's a big adaptation to whatever product. They can somehow raise 10 to 30 million easily. Now, tough like hell, bro. You know, it's tough like hell because they are now beginning to understand.
There's no moat.
Yes, they start to understand that the whole market has a bubble, right?
Yeah.
So in order for you to raise that kind of money again, you need to show some very tangible results, not just based on a piece of freaking PowerPoint, right?
Yeah. Plus, people will vibe code something very similar very quickly.
Oh, yeah. Actually, the vibe coder killed that innovation space quite a fair bit.
Yeah.
Because we have more and more people coding and more non-coders coding. It kills a lot of those developers who are really trying to do a good job, And anyway, vibe coding is just another different thing. I'm not like against it, but I don't like the feeling of it because vibe coding is like the new meme coin, right?
I think it just makes it more accessible. Like there's a lot of cool things to do. Like I used AI to automate my editing and effects, and like it took a week to do it. It took a week of so much troubleshooting, but I got it to work, and I'm super happy about it. Because
what are you using right now?
Hyperframes.
Oh,
so there are two popular ones: are Hyperframes and Remotion for graphics. Like Hyperframes, I think Anthropic just made a demo video and they released it using Hyperframes. Or Remotion. Those are like the top two that a lot of agencies are using, just because you can prompt it to make really nice graphic effects, product videos, clips.
But both are not. Both are all running on a subscription, right?
You do need a subscription. Yeah, you can't do it for free. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, some of the things I paid, right? I told you, but I still believe that sooner or later, when the open source market grows bigger, the AI stuff would be very cheap or literally free.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I love using the Chinese models because
Me
it
too.
takes so long to spend $1. It's
Yes.
so cheap.
That like the DeepSeek, like the Qwen.
DeepSeek,
I use like Qwen
Xiaomi.
every day. Yeah.
Xiaomi is really good.
Xiaomi is good.
Yeah,
What's it
super
called?
good.
What's it called?
Minimax.
Oh, okay. I was using Minimax, but I think Minimax content generation, or maybe the data, the data is a problem.
It's good. Yeah, it's good at like researching things
Yeah.
and being systematic. Like if I ask DeepSeek or Claude to something, and I'm like, oh yeah, how do people like do these phone farms for like TikTok, and how do they grow, and how do they like black hat tactic these things? They're like, that's against terms of service. I won't tell you how to do that. I ask Xiaomi, they're like, here's how you do it. You go to these sites, you use these resources, you have to be careful of these things, or your account gets flagged. I was like, oh, okay. Xiaomi is like, he'll tell me anything.
Actually Minimax, I was using it, but then I don't want to say why I stopped using it, but then I was then using Manus. Is it
Oh,
Manus?
Facebook, yeah.
Yes, and then once Facebook took over them, I stopped using them because I think
They steal all your data.
yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Then, but of course, the Qwen thing, the one from Alibaba, I'm using it all the time.
Yeah.
And then there's another one called GLM. I think you should try GLM. That is good.
Who does GLM?
Is okay. The website is z.ai. That I think is good. Yeah.
Oh,
If
okay.
you
Yeah.
compare this with Manus, I think z.ai. I don't know what that's called. I think is good. I think it's a lot better. Good.
Okay,
So
I'll check it
my
out.
top choice is Qwen. Is it Qwen? Qwen?
Qwen?
Qwen?
QWEN?
Yeah, Qwen, and then z.ai. I think
Okay.
these are the two top choices I would use if I want to run some research or I want to run some tasks. I think those are good, man. Good, cheap.
Yeah.
That is the most important.
Are you doing OpenClaw? Are you doing Hermes? Are you doing something locally?
I was on OpenClaw, but I stopped it.
Yeah, same here.
Because
Hermes.
it's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Yeah,
Where's
my other
yours?
computer just back here. Hermes. Amazing.
Good.
Hermes with Slack. Yeah.
Oh, I have not used that. I should ask you for some tip, how to
Yeah.
do that. OpenClaw is good, but I think the ratio of how they use the token is not good, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like you're talking to a really stupid intern, right? And
Yeah.
then
It
each
doesn't
time,
get smarter.
Yeah.
Hermes has self-learning. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you spell that again?
HERMES. So it's like a lot of people shifted from OpenClaw to Hermes in the last few weeks because of that. HERMES. So I'll send you a link later to the GitHub repo.
Why does it sound exactly like the Hermes thing?
It's exactly like that without the accent over the E.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I think AI is a really good topic to look at, and I didn't want to let go of the crypto space because I still believe that cryptocurrency is still the future money, right? But it's just that I don't see too many use cases.
Yeah.
And
The only thing I think if you can trade stocks on chain and just have that accessibility, I think Hyperliquid's doing a good job of that because tech stocks and oil are like blowing up. And if you aren't a US citizen, it's hard to get access to that. Like MU,
but they are going
to
Coinbase is going to start, right? The perps.
Oh yeah, but I think that's still to institutional clients at the moment. But like techs, like the chip factories, chip stocks, all of those are blowing up like 500% in the last 6 months. So just being able to access that and have that exposure is pretty amazing for anyone globally.
I like what Hyperliquid is doing, honestly.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't put my head around how their price has been going up, right?
Yeah.
how
They
they
said buybacks. I didn't look into it that much, but I saw a tweet buybacks. That's
the
how it.
no, but 90% of that is buyback. But I think such a model is not very sustainable, in my opinion. But that's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
I just didn't have a very good feeling. I have a big bag as well, a slightly smaller one than Esther, but I don't have a good feeling on what they are trying to do right now.
Mhm.
Number wise, they are really sharp, right? But
Yeah.
it's way too sharp in today's context, because I ask myself, why would a rep stock or a rep go do so well on the DEX?
Yeah.
Who is the one trading the 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 product, right? It doesn't make any sense to me at all, right? And then who is behind that trade.xyz, right? So
Yeah.
these are a lot of questions that I really want to ask Jeff. I know Jeff is in Singapore.
But
I,
secret. It's like a secret hideout. Yeah.
uh, I don't know, man. It's not difficult. I've seen him in the public,
Mhm.
in a restaurants and so forth, but didn't want to pop by and say whatever.
Yeah, that
I
is
don't
kind of
know
weird.
him. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
him at all. So, but whatever the case is, I wish them all the best. I just don't want it to be another naive case like what SBF is, right? Like SBF, I think he's a good guy, right? But what he did, of course, is not great.
Right,
I
right.
think he's a smart dude, but if he has a bit more,
Yeah, his Anthropic bet would have been amazing.
no, if he has a bit more of a business sense, and how
Yeah.
he did the negotiation maybe with CZ or with Justin Sun and all these guys, he will not be in this situation, because back at those times, which exchange doesn't use user funds secretly? I
Oh.
think many of them would have used it, right? It's
Mhm.
just that how he presented it in too a too desperate manner. It's not good for him. Anyways, I mean, Sam is just Sam. Now he's off the. Yeah, he's in jail terms.
Yeah.
That is okay.
But yeah, speaking more of like the like Hyperliquid stuff, I think it's because they also have like the S&P 500 with 50x leverage, which is crazy. It's just like, first off, that's like the index that everyone wants to get into, and then to also provide that much leverage. So I don't even understand like who's taking the other side of that.
I don't know. There are definitely punters who want to gamble
Yeah.
on the platform, but I think it cannot be illegal, right? Because I had a conversation. This can be all shared, bro. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with another friend of mine who was just saying that, oh, why can DYDX operate in US? You know. Wait. So before that, it was like he was telling me that Hyperliquid is able to operate in US. I told him is you can't use it on in US because you need the VPN.
Mhm.
Then he said, no, but then why DYDX can do it, right? Then I corrected him. I said, DYDX can do it because they put up a US entity, right? That is fully KYC, right? And you, as a Hyperliquid, you have no KYC. How is that going to go through, right? So you look at talking to people in the industry, there's already this gap in knowledge, right? And to be very honest, if people who are in this industry cannot answer the question, why are there so many trades? Then where are the traders coming from? I just don't know, bro.
Mhm.
I don't want it to be I didn't want to say anything bad. I don't want to see a black swan event, right? A bad black swan event. But I also hope that they can clear up everything so that they understand where they stand. There is no need to fight with the US regulator to set up a think tank or lobbying arm in US just to fight them and say that no KYC, let us operate there. Then you're
Yeah.
just wasting time, bro. If you have that much money, just get all the traders in. Traders should trade harder on taxes. If you are experienced enough, you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, and not chasing after those things that are not even worth the time.
Right. And speaking on that, with like Kalshi and Polymarket, isn't US citizens not allowed to use that, but it's like heavily marketed there and people just use VPNs anyway?
They are not allowed to. Okay, so that was like a before that, right? Right now, if I'm not wrong, they are implementing the KYC.
Oh, okay.
Right. So once that KYC, that was also another thing that the same friend who said, then why is Polymarket able to do that? Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you look at today's context, Polymarket needs to go through the KYC right now. If you're in US, right?
Mm.
Yeah, but if you're outside the US, of course, if you're in Singapore, you can't use it because of the IP, right? But if you have a VPN or you have $10,
Yeah.
you could or you could
The
always
world is
get
open.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in US, they need the KYC, right?
Mhm.
So once the KYC is there, they recognize that this is a so-called proper setup, and then that's the reason why they can publicize that, right? And the best part is they're not publicized as a securities, right? It's just more like a commodity, just like a platform, tech platform. I think it's win-win for them, right? That could easily be a few $1 trillion market cap, you
Mhm.
know, right there. So I just felt that people got to understand how the regulation work, right? If you understand how the regulation work, then you will not be going into that circle, of unlimited loop. Just like some of my friends were saying that AI needs to be governed, right? I think AI needs a certain level of control, but the certain level of control would be the same theory that I have with cryptocurrency, right? The control should be by the community and by consensus, right? And if you look at the current space again, AI is definitely going crazy because it's like you have like a God's eye.
Yeah.
You ask them anything, they will just give you a good reply, give you a good strategy. You might take it as a Bible truth, and you might really do it, right?
Mhm.
So a level of control is needed, and that control cannot be in a centralized entity, right? So I think ideally it should be decentralized so that everything can be dispersed. The authority can be by consensus by many different people, and that's where the decentralized part comes in. And it jumps back to the book that I've just written, right? Um, it's just more like a Web 4 environment.
Mhm.
It's just an era where AI needs to be governed, right? AI needs check and balance. AI needs to have a certain level of governance and not by just one of two monopolized big company, right?
Yeah.
If it
So
can be decentralized, then I think that would be the Web 4 vision that I've been talking about.
so who is doing decentralized AI?
Right now,
Yeah.
I think so many of the chains right now they integrated the AI element to it, like Near, for example, right? And then if you look at Ethereum, they're trying to do some stuff as
Mhm.
well. And then of course you have BitTensor,
Yeah,
right?
they have
And then
something, but it's very hard to learn like what's going on in BitTensor.
yeah, no, so I don't want to go into the products, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at some of their model, it is flawed.
Mhm.
It's just not great, right? Because the ultimate control is still via the value of the token and how much power you're holding on to that token.
Mhm.
And then thus you form that consensus mechanism, right? But if you look at it from both ways, right? From an AI and from a crypto angle, you would think that there's definitely a loophole, right? So if you look at the crypto side, like what I say in the book, but in a very academic way, is that if you look from the crypto outwards, right? Then your mentality would be okay. Web3 is centralized because of all the VCs and all the governance problem. Then what can be done better, right? How to
Yeah.
improve the governance? So the AI will come in. If you are looking at it from a crypto out perspective, right? The AI comes in, you govern it properly, and then you can be more decentralized, more Web3, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you about centralization. So a few months ago, there was this issue between Anthropic and the U.S. government, and Anthropic was like, "No, you can't use our AI to kill someone. There has to be someone like making that call. We won't let you do this. These are our red lines, and you can't cross that." And the U.S. government was kind of attacking them and trying to take down their business, and then OpenAI came in and said, "Oh, we'll do it. We got you. We want this government contract. This will make us a lot of money." But in the end, Anthropic came to some deal with the government because the government really wanted to use Anthropic instead. But in a decentralized world, if the governance is run through the people who hold most of their shares, they would probably pick the one where they make the most type of money rather than the best for the world.
But it
Or what are your
depends,
thoughts?
right?
Yeah.
So if you have a group of people who are more idealistic, for example,
Mhm.
and they didn't like what the US government is doing,
Mhm.
right? Then through a really consensus driven DAO, right? Not just by staking, right? Through the DAO, you can then make a better decision, right? Whether or not to use that as to take on this as a new client, right? But it's a network effect where everybody will just sit down, agree, right? And then they move on, right? But right now we don't have this kind of system, right? We try to have this kind of system, but it's all fake, right?
Yeah.
Because the guy who holds all the token has the best
The most
biggest
power. Yeah.
staking. Yeah, then that's it, right?
I got to ask you a personal question, Andy. I've been in so many, I've held so many different tokens. I haven't voted in any DAO. Just no DAO I've ever voted. How
Mhm.
many votes have you participated in? Like, how do you even get involved in that stuff, right?
Many, bro. Too many to tell you that it's all fake, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
because when I was a VC, right? We hold some of the projects. You hold probably a good amount of distributed tokens, right, out of that whole supply. So literally, the few of us can sit down and we can decide how the network is going and where it is going, and is it fair? Well, it's not really that fair, right? Maybe the three, four, five of us would just sit down, we agree, and then nobody can veto this because we hold all
Too
the power.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen too many of this, right?
Mhm.
Who are trying to be decentralized, but they can never be decentralized because of money, greed, and so forth. So that's where the AI part can come in, right? Where things can just be changed, things can be a bit more fair, and I really hope that this can come true, right? If it's just five of us talking and making the decision, we are, and if the five of us are very, very smart, for example, we understand what's the pros and cons, I think that's cool, right? You have the power in five smart chaps, and then we just agree to the action. But if you look at it in the other way around, the same thing can happen to five not so smart people, and they can form a consensus that is going to kill the blockchain too.
Yeah.
And then the outcome would be not so smart, and then the network is down. The economics of the whole project can be gone, right?
Yeah.
So I still strongly believe that it like there's a core group of people that can make some decision, right, to craft a certain direction, right? And then there's a community pool that can work together to form another level of consensus, right? But ultimately, right, you still need someone that is a little bit unbiased to make better decision. That could be the AI brain, right? So in my book, I kept talking about uh, AI as the cognitive layer, right? It creates that certain level of trust that all of us can agree or maybe even disagree to, right? And then from there we make a better outcome for all the decisions that we have made, right?
So would AI governance be like, all right, we let the AI choose a path and then we say yes or no, or what would it look like?
There's no ideal scenario. I actually in okay, so I have 23 versions of the book, right? So some of the versions are a bit more technical. Some of the versions are a bit more like an expose thing, so and so project is totally not totally centralized. These are the things that they do. There's a version where I talk about what is the most ideal scenario for the AI governance to happen, right? What I really think it should be is that the AI brain should take up more than 51%, right? And then the rest, it could be divided with the core team and the community, right? That should be a much fairer way to look at all this decision making, you know. And And of course, the AI got to be impartial, right? They have to be non-biased. They will need to understand what is the possible outcome. They give out the probability, you know, and then from there, everyone make a decision from there, right? Then it can be at least be a lot fairer, right?
Mhm.
And people are just communicating and talking and voting at the same time to make sure that the right kind of outcome is achieved, right?
Right. So speaking of that, there are some AIs that people trust and some people don't trust. Like I think a lot of people don't go to Grok as like the source of truth, just because we've seen that sometimes it can go off the rails there. What are some of the AIs that you trust?
I don't really. So if you are talking about just all these basic
The
basic,
accessible stuff, yeah.
yeah, just the productivity side, I would not say I trust any of them, right? It all depends on how you train them and what kind of data sets you give them, right? If you go to Gemini, for example, you ask them about what is the current Bitcoin price, right? The price that they give you will never be correct. But if you put up a task, like every morning, they need to do this, where they check it from, how they double confirm, oh, if you give them all that kind of prompt, you know, yeah, okay, the data is fairly good. So it's all about how you train them, right?
Mhm.
And if you look at the all the model that we talk about, right, from the Chinese ones to the US ones, if you talk about the frontier models, right, I think in terms of productivity output, they are almost the same, right? Which is based on my own experience, right? For ChatGPT, Claude, so forth and so on, I think the output is about the same, right? Then if you compare this with the Chinese ones, based on productivity point of view, the output is also pretty similar, right? So to me, as a user, just see this from a user perspective, then it goes down to cost, right? And then if whichever the cost is lower, I can feed them with more data. I can train them in a longer period of time, and that's where the trust will just come in, right? If you don't train the model, don't take it on like your like even like your kid. You got to train them, tell them this and tell them that. If you don't tell them all the right stuff, all the stuff that's going to come out would not be correct, and there will be no trust, right? So I think ultimately is how much time you're willing to spend with the model, and then what can you feed to the model to make you think that you trust them, right? I
Right,
don't
right.
think you will trust them to ask them, should I long or short Bitcoin right now? They will
Yeah,
never
yeah.
give you the correct answer,
Now, I know a lot of people are running their own local model, but to have that same like quick response, you need a very expensive machine to support that. So that just means all these AI companies are definitely losing money. And yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Like, who's going to win this? How much money can these AI companies actually lose before, taking on before being the market leader?
Well, I think they have to burn a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
Right now, it's very clear that who are the top few, right?
Yeah.
I think the most sustainable one, in my opinion, would be the Gemini model, right? Because they have their own TPUs, they have their own user base. I think they have the biggest set of data, right?
Mhm.
Then you ask about Anthropic and OpenAI, for example.
Mhm.
One of them got to go.
Yeah.
In my opinion, one of them got to go, or one of them can pivot into just coding. The other one can pivot into something else. I don't know, right? But one of them got to go, and the rest of the model, they will all be gone. Yeah, if you're talking about the US market, right? But if
Yeah.
you're talking about the Chinese market, because of the cost is low, right? They have abundance of energy. Of
Mhm.
course, if you talk the US dude, they will say that they have no energy. But but Chinese, I wrote an article about where they get all their energy from. They have abundance of energy. The hardware cost is lower, right? Now they even have the opportunity to buy from Nvidia, right? So of course they have their own chipset from Huawei and so forth. So I think that as an open source model cost is low, eventually people who are not bounded by any contracts or geographic issues, they would choose the Chinese model, because outcome, we have to look at it this way, the outcome of the product is the
Yeah.
same. It's almost the same. Maybe if you are really ask me, maybe about 1 to 2% difference between the US model and the Chinese model. But if you look at output and if you are willing to fine tune it, I think it can be as little as 0.1%, the difference
Yeah.
in terms of output.
Yeah, the results are the same. Like if you're asking for directions, how to get from point A to point B, like you're gonna get there. So
Yeah.
it gets you there for a significantly lower cost.
Yes. Yeah. So if you look at this in longer term, open source, abundance of energy, cheap computing power, yeah, whoever that can get this will be the winner. It's just like what Google did, right? To all of us, right? Gmail is free, right? Free for 10, 20 years, man, bro. Until you realize, storage is full.
Not free. Yeah.
Then that will be where the money comes in, right? So I think the model should be the same, for the Chinese model. And the AI war is all about computing power and electricity,
Yeah.
right? So I still think that the Chinese model would be very interesting,
Now, since we'd like to dabble in investing, is there anything in the Chinese AI space that people can get access to, that they can invest in, like on a decentralized exchange, or that's just not available as of yet?
Nah, nothing much, to be honest.
It's very closed, right? The Chinese stock market.
Yeah, nothing much at all. Yeah, the only one I think that's more famous is the DeepSeek one, right? And the rest of the model are already part of a big company, right? Like part of the Ali group, or part of the Huawei group, part of Xiaomi.
ByteDance, yeah.
Yeah, so it's all the big boys taking the lead. The only one that is not so big boy and more organic would be the DeepSeek. That's it. Yeah, DeepSeek is good for trading, I think, because the founders are originally traders, right? So if you ask them about investment strategies, I think, in my opinion, they are one of the smartest. If you ask Grok about investment, it's not good. If you
Yeah.
ask about, yeah, if you ask ChatGPT about it, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, right? It depends on which version you're on, right?
Yeah.
So so if you look at the productivity side of things, I'll still stick with the Chinese ones, man, bro. Just get a DeepSeek is fine. It's a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to talk more about your book. Like, you wrote this book. You've been a writer in crypto for a while, from like and sorry, I forgot the name, from zero to hero, and it was about NFTs and a couple other books. So why'd you write this book?
I write the
Web4,
book.
sorry. Pitch your book again. The title.
No. So the exact title. Okay, so I only use the word Web4. So
Yeah.
so the book is Web4, the age of autonomous intelligence, right? So why I wrote this book? In fact, I was one of the first few who talk about Web4 in 2021, right? So I trace it back to 2021.
Good.
I even gave a keynote. I think it's in 2023 or something. I can't remember the actual dates and year, but
Yeah.
I was not happy with Web3, right? Because if you are deep in the ecosystem, right,
You
and
see
if
the
you
problems.
oh my God, if you understand how everything is work, I would think that what is so decentralized about this whole space, right? So I'm very unhappy about it, and I didn't like it because we are kind of pulling a fast one on everybody. And I started to talk about Web4 because back in 2021, AI is not a very big thing, right? But I toyed with that idea, started writing a book. I can't remember when, like 2022 Web3 after the keynote speech that I gave about Web4. And the more I write and the more I think that AI is going to take over our industry, you know. And of course, because there's no urgency to publish the book, I procrastinated like for 2-3 years. I have like 23 version of the book, like I said just now.
Because yeah, it evolves so quickly.
Yeah, so when I look at the earlier versions, I was talking about ChatGPT like 3 or something. Then after that, now it's really 5.5 or something, right? Then because there's no urgent to do that. But recently I realized that AI is really moving very fast, and I have so many versions of the book. I just want to quickly clean it up and just publish something first, right?
Yeah.
So so the main reason why I wrote the book is also because it's mainly because I'm not happy with the Web3 decentralization bluff, you know. So, and I think that AI is going to change what we are seeing right now. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I remember you talking about AI and all this infrastructure very early on. But I was like, we're looking at cryptocurrencies that got in AI, but what I should have been looking at is the hardware infrastructure, because those blew up like crazy in the last 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. All the data centers and so forth, they actually blew up a lot. Data center, GPUs, these
Yeah,
are
memory, yeah.
all the main things. And then yeah, memory chips, the of course the hard disks and so forth. These are
Yeah.
things that are really getting expensive, you know. And I wrote about them on in my book as well, because I felt that if we really want to go on a more decentralized manner, right, and everything is governed by AI and a more proper governance, you know, then we have to slowly shift our storage as well, you know, into a decentralized storage. You know, we talk about decentralized networks, everything to be real decentralized, right? And yeah, and it's not going to be cheap, right?
Yeah. So speaking of that trend, where do you think we're going to be at in the world a year from now? Like, will this trend continue to grow? Will another sector really rise? Will crypto come back as the Web 4 version with autonomous governance and trading?
I think crypto is still going to be the money, right? There's no doubt about it. It's the future money. Of course, AI, if they are smart enough, they will come out with their own money as well, right? But in 1 year down the road, I think more and more people will understand that centralized power over a leading frontier AI model is a very dangerous thing, right? So right now, one or two or maybe three companies carry the whole market right now, and within that 1 year period, people will understand that it's too risky. And I think personally, things will change and they would really think about how to make AI decentralized. Right. So just now I was talking about me seeing it from the crypto to AI, right? But sooner or later, they will see AI to from seeing from an AI perspective. They want things to be more decentralized. The power would be distributed, right? The decision making would be distributed. Things can be more fair, and it's less dangerous, right? So in 1 year's time, I think people will start to really push hard on that agenda, you know, because it's just way too powerful, you know, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies to be the main supplier for AI, you know.
Yeah. And speaking of like AI and media, sure you've seen like these AI models that make videos are getting so good, it's getting very hard to tell like what's real. And when it comes to elections and things like that and propaganda, it's just getting way too easy to make very realistic uh, fake things that happened. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Like, will AI save us from AI doing that?
I think AI got to be the one detecting the AI.
Yeah.
right? Because right now, if you look at some of the model like sedans and all these things,
Mhm.
they can make very realistic um, videos, right?
Yes.
So if you
Yes.
look at some of the advertisement that you see right now, they stop using real casting member.
Yeah.
They use AI to take over everything, right?
Yeah.
That would only increase and will not decrease, right? Because slowly and surely people will be able to accept that fake face, right?
Yeah.
So but then if you talk about very serious stuff like government vote, elections,
Yeah.
AI got to detect the AI. It's not our role to do that. You know, yeah, and it would be silly to for creators to label this as an AI. So
Yeah.
you have
Because
to
you can't tell.
label,
Yeah.
yeah, because you can tell, right? But how to circumvent this and make it better, right? I think it should be an AI system to detect the AI.
Hmm.
Then that will be very efficient, right? What have we got to do with that, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Of course. And I've seen some projects try to do that, but like who's gonna pay them for it? These advertising platforms, like on Facebook, they're like, no, we're already getting money. We're not gonna stop this from happening.
Yeah,
So
they will not do it. I
yeah.
I I I I look at it this way. I'm in Singapore for a while, right? So I met a couple of AI companies as well. Some of them are trying to build things like an education platform, right? They talk to me, yeah, I'm actually still keen to invest, right? They talk to me, tell me about their different programs and so forth. One of them I remember very clearly is doing education, right? Um, Teaching kids, uh, all different level how to learn properly, your schoolwork using AI. So he does the pitching to me twice, right? And then recently online he did another time at a higher valuation. I straight away told him, bro, you fucked up, man. You cannot there's no way you can raise that amount of money at
Mhm.
that valuation. Because what you have been doing right now, Notebook LLM
Does
from
already for
Google,
free.
does it for free, bro.
Yeah.
And he has the cheek to tell me, bro, what is net notebook LLM? Fuck,
Mm.
bro.
He's
I
he's
say
he's behind.
he's so behind that is beyond the
Yeah.
conversation. Because
It's like,
yeah, no, initially when he came at a lower valuation,
yeah.
I think back then he was actually zooming in to Singapore education curriculums, right? Just
Mhm.
zoom into Singapore syllabus. I think it's cool, right? Because you are like targeting specific country, zoom into certain syllabus, and then just follow through. I think that's cool, right? The second time when he came in, still the same, right? And then he's trying to drive the results. The third time he came in, he's trying to drive the whole world. I was like, bro, that's it. I just want to let you know you're the same as Notebook LLM.
Yeah.
And then God bless you. So, but it's just hard. He raised a good amount of millions. I just want to let you know.
I really enjoyed this story. I think you should share this more online. Like all these things, like, oh, I got pitched this, but this guy is doing what Notebook LM does,
Yeah,
because that's like
there's so
relatable, and it's like these insights that like only you could share.
I want to do that, but do you know it's very discouraging, right?
Yeah.
So there's no one is going to talk to you if you want to talk in this manner
Mhm.
on X, right? So if you're on a video, it's cool. But I think you should come to X more often, man, bro.
I
Forget
need to
about
post
this.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I,
we have to come and interact more, and then we do some stuff, together. I think that
I
would be good.
yeah, I think it'd be fun to talk about, like, maybe once a week we go like, all right, these are the 10 projects that people are building. They're building apps. What's good about them? What's the struggles? Like,
Yeah.
who else is doing this for free?
No, actually, we should do something like this. Anyway, nothing is a secret.
Yeah.
So I wanted to come out with I started a quick series called Spot On,
Mhm.
right? I actually want to do like a something like what All In is doing for the podcast,
Yeah.
right? You get a few people that you can really relate to, and then you can start to have a good conversation.
Yeah.
I love to do that, but I just couldn't find that five or four chaps, that have a same intellectual wavelength. You know,
Yeah.
if you get like a 3D gens, and then what's the point of having that discussion?
Yeah,
Right?
you need some contrasting opinions and
Yes,
experiences.
yes, and no contrasting, and also you
Different
have to also
specialties.
align in terms of the intelligence level,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so that you can have a proper debate, right?
Mhm.
It just couldn't do it. I started one, and then I was like, I better not do it anymore, you know, because you get really silly replies. And I was like, fuck, that's not
Yeah.
good. Just share a little tiny bit more about the book and so forth.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't want this to be like a money thing,
Mhm.
So I push the price to the lowest that Amazon can accept.
Mhm.
And I just want more people to take a look at it, understand what are the complaints that I have and why I'm unhappy about decentralization.
Mhm.
And from there we should move into a really full decentralized manner, right?
Mhm.
And I think the book has very good praises as well. So I got CZ to write something about it. I got Gary Cardone to write something about it.
And Grant Cardone, or his brother? He got his brother.
I didn't get his brother though. I didn't get his brother. And of course a few others, from different blockchains and
Yeah.
different ambassadors and so forth, real government official.
Mhm.
So I think the content itself is actually a bit dry, to be honest. It's not easy to read, but once you get the storyline going,
Mhm.
right? I think people will appreciate the why Web4 with the AI input would be the next best thing to have, in for our future, right?
Yeah.
Because AI is something that we can't let go of, right?
Mhm.
And if we believe that crypto is the way to is the future money, right? And then you still believe that blockchain technology is here to stay, you know, then I think it will be a very natural path for people to move into that new space, that I call Web4, right? So anyway, I hope more people can take some time to read it. I know you saw the book previously, and then some other versions as well. It's not easy to read, but
It gets
it's not it's
technical.
not, it's not
Yeah.
easy to read. I talk about like the core engine of Web4, how the architect structure is going to be like, how the how the ZKML, I think it's
Mhm.
ZKML, how ZKML is going to help with the privacy, right? These are some things that is so dry, man. Who the hell know what I'm talking about? ZKML.
Yeah.
What is ZKML? You know, but if you really take the time to read it, and then spend a little bit more time to look into the structure or the architecture that solutions that I talk about, I think it would be quite fun.
You'll
I think.
definitely level up your knowledge about the intricacies of crypto and Web4.
I also, bro. I also acknowledge you in the book as well.
Oh,
Thanks for the
appreciate it.
comments.
Yeah.
And I really think that yeah, I really think that is a good food for thought. For
Mhm.
people who are trying to get into the space, understand what's going on. Just food for thought. Take a read. No qualms. Right. $1.99. That's it.
I mean, you can't. Yeah, you can't miss that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, that's what it is, man.
All right. Thanks, Andy, and we'll catch you guys next time.